Part of the motivation to bring Shakespeare to American stage is one, it's been over 10 years or close to 10 years, I believe, since American stage performed Shakespeare in the Park. And about 10 years ago, stopped performing Shakespeare in the Park, changed that to musicals. And so our audiences have not been exposed to the Bard quite a long time. And so I'm very excited to connect our audiences and our community, artists who work for us, back to the work of William Shakespeare, and doing so in a way that reminds people of the kind of eternalness of humanity in terms of the characters' motivations and flaws, strengths and hopes and dreams and all of those things don't change over the centuries. And Shakespeare gives us such a beautiful opportunity through his language to be reminded that people are people are people. And Much Ado is such a wonderful and accessible story to do that with. And when deciding to do Shakespeare, of course, you have to answer the question, where shall we set this play and when shall we set this play? And one of the central themes that I know Ben will be talking about that really struck me and has always given me a strong sense of connection to Much Ado is the theme of gender in the play. And it is so important that we understand that this play takes place at a time where gender roles were still confining and more kind of specifically defined than they are even today. So I just want to go back in time a little bit, but not so far back. Not so far back that it feels separate or other or something that we have completely overcome or escaped. And so I look to the World War II era when men, mostly men returning from the war, coming home to a different reality where women have taken on a lot of responsibilities that they didn't have before the men left, and this kind of changing landscape of gender roles and how that really impacted American society and really forever led to, well, eventually led to the equal rights movement and a lot of other changes that happened really rapidly in the decades to follow. So I was really inspired and excited to use that era of the 40s and then look to where was an island with a military force that was active during that period of time. And I honestly did not initially start my research thinking that it would be set so close to home, but I was so excited when I learned through a little bit of research that Key West actually had a very active naval port, and reading further about that area, of course, it being a sort of tropical Florida region, but just the character of the place and the energy of the place, reasons that Hemingway was drawn to it, all of those things just made it such a great, exciting, clear choice for me as a place to set our Much Ado About Nothing. So I kind of handed those things off to our director and said, what do you think, and what can we do with it? And we'll let him talk about what he's come up with for us. This will be my first time performing at American Stage. I took some acting classes last summer. I feel like no, I have performed before. I have actually performed before. A little while. So I say that to say, woohoo! I'm super excited, but also to apologize up front for being a nervous wreck from at least a week before tech to about a week before we close. Other than that, though, I've got, and I'm going to be so excited to be prepared to stage with y'all. So see you on Saturday. I'm going to listen in for the rest of the night, and please join me in welcoming the very talented Benjamin Ismail, our director.
Hi everybody, I'm Ben Ismail. I'm the artist in residence here at American Stage, and as Stephanie has said, I am directing. You always yell at me for not standing in the light. I think, do you guys have something that you want to share before we start all this?
Yes.
I thought so. So I'm going to give it over to Stephanie Snyder before I tell you about this from Advancement.
Thank you so very much. I'm preempting such a wonderful occasion of everyone getting ready for our second production of the season to share a moment with you all about one of the strong reasons of why we do the work. And that is to present a community that champions the art form and celebrates together and laughs and cries and lives and shares. And I want to welcome someone very special, who's the daughter of an amazing, amazing lady who supported the theater from the audience and in many, many different ways throughout her lifetime, and was a part of our legacy society. And I'd like to welcome her daughter, Jackie Canner.
So when I see my mother's picture, it warms my heart, and I just want to tell you that American Stage has always been and always was a very special and important part of my mother's life. She was passionate about theater. She loved everything about American Stage. American Stage and Tom Block afforded her the opportunity to go to England, and they went to Shakespeare on the Falls or something. There were many trips that she participated in that were sponsored through American Stage so that she could enjoy her passion and different experiences. And without a doubt, one of the things that excuse me, I have bronchitis. One of the things that my mother always did for 10 years was buy season tickets so that my sister and myself and my mother would come on Sundays, so we would have mother-daughter date here in American Stage. And it was so special, because we'd get in the car as soon as the show was over, and we'd talk about the sets and the choreography and the acting and, the play, and whether or not we liked the meaning behind the play. And we'd have conversation from the minute we got into the car until I drove my mother and my sister home. And it was the most memorable time for me, looking back, knowing how much that brought us together as mother-daughter's opportunity, and sharing in such a wonderful theater, and all of the plays that we got to experience. Some were so extraordinary that we'd even call each other the next day and continue to talk about it. So with that being said, Mom told me my mother was a 5-time cancer survivor. And she was truly remarkable. We called her the Ever-Ready Bunny, because nobody was going to tell my mother how it was going to be. She has made liars out of more doctors. I remember one doctor said she wasn't going to make it to Christmas, and my mother sent him a Christmas card. So, and even when she was on her walker, we would get her up here, and we would, of course we were in we went to the old one and then over here. But when she passed away of both liver and colon cancer, it was too much for her. We couldn't come anymore. But she said, I want to do something special for the place that was so special to her in her heart. And so she left an annuity to American Stage of $11,515.44. And she wanted to make sure that I knew that this was something that she wanted to do to benefit American Stage, since American Stage gave her so much in her lifetime. So I present this with all my heart. Thank you. All of the actors and all of the directors and all the people who put their heart and soul into these shows to bring joy to others as much as it did to our family. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Jackie. And on behalf of everyone here at the theater, this gift will make a huge, huge difference to us. But what makes a difference is that you're here today sharing this with us, and you've already booked your tickets with your sister for Sunday night. And I have two gifts for you. Tom Block, who's a dear, dear friend of your mom's, couldn't be here with us tonight because he and Steph are gallivanting all around London. And he wrote a few words that he wanted me to share on. I'll do my best Tom Block impersonation. Harriet Lieberman was always such a good friend to American Stage, but more importantly to me. We always enjoyed our travels and having a drink after the show. Harriet provided American Stage with rehearsal space, storage space, and before it was trendy, years worth of imported bottled water. I'll never forget her zest for life and her passion for theater and her family. Harriet truly enjoyed traveling with the Trippers, Europe, Canada, New York, and her spirit is with the Trippers in London right now as they enjoy their time as we speak. The most fun of all their travels, however, was when Tom would run into her at the Pasadena Publix, and they would always share a smile and good conversations in the aisles. Fondly, Tom Block. So this is our legacy pin presented to you in honor of your mom. Thank you. And this is something that's very special to us for this season as we join to come together to share the 40th anniversary year for American Stage. And we've created an anniversary pass with the idea that find someone new and experience that with the theater, and we'd like to present the anniversary pass to you as well. And so thank you so very much.
Well, I have to say that I went with Tom and my mother. We went to New York and did Broadway, and we saw 2 shows every day. I think in 3 days we saw like 7 shows. I don't know how we did it, but we just made, I mean, and I was shocked that my mother, I mean, and again, you know, through the years, she has always been told that she can't, and that didn't stop her. So I accompanied, that was probably one of the last trips that she went on, and I accompanied her, and all I can say is that the memories that I hold because of American Stage and my love for theater was passed on from her to me, and awesome. All I can say is kudos to everyone who makes this such a wonderful community theater.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you, and
And
let's
I
make
can't
some
wait
new
to-
memories
Yes.
with some new friends.
Thank you.
Take it away, Ben.
Wow, that's such a great way to start the evening. I don't have words except thank you to Harriet for sure. To get into the actual show, Much Ado, and where I am taking this team. So Stephanie, as she said, had these ideas of the 40s and Key West, and that's what she gave to me. And so then I have to turn that into my version of that. And so it's not going to be so literally set there as much as it is super, super inspired by. If you're familiar with the Keys, there'll be a lot of little Easter eggs for you to see all throughout, some things that'll make sense to you and not other people if you're familiar with it. But one thing that was really important to me is that it didn't, as Stephanie said, that the show didn't feel completely in another time. That I wanted some infusion of modernity and contemporary energy. And when Rachel gets to talk about the sound, I think you'll see the best marriage of those two concepts. That's something that we talked about with the whole design team. If you've seen The Great Gatsby and the way that Baz Luhrmann does the 20s, that's kind of a touchstone for how I hope to do the 40s with this team. So I don't want to talk too much. I want to let the designers do most of that work. But things that I love about Much Ado, I've directed a lot of Shakespeare's work before, and I haven't directed Much Ado. And when I was digging into this script, it's got some of the most romantic language of any of the plays. Like some of it, particularly Beatrice's stuff, whenever she talks, I'm just like instantly in tears, weeping. So it's intensely romantic, but the show is almost a metaphor for what romance is. At the beginning of it, it's tons of energy, and it's exciting, and it's festival and party. And then for those of you that are familiar, when we get to the third quarter of it, it takes a hard left turn when reality sets in. And I really wanted the design to reflect that. So as you're listening to each of these designers, hopefully you'll hear those nuggets, that it starts out in this festival, fun, flirty environment, and then we get some really surprising, powerful, elegant, passionate performances and moments in like I say, that third quarter, fourth act. So I wanted it to have nostalgia and also that contemporary edge. I think that's... Another thing that's really important to me in the 40s when I think about my relationship to the 40s is I think about watching classic cinema with my grandparents. Movies like South Pacific and American in Paris and White Christmas, and all of these movies have a huge dance component. So that was something that was very important to me from the start, is that our Much Ado has some movement in it, has some choreography, and we're very excited and lucky to have Juliana Davis as our choreographer for this piece, as well as playing Margaret. We didn't actually do the go around the room thing, so everything's out of order, everything's crazy, but we'll just go around the room real quick, and then we'll continue with designer presentations. So I'm Ben, I'm the director, and I talk a lot. Rachel.
I'm Rachel, and I'm the stage manager, and I don't talk a lot.
I'm Jim Sorensen. I'm playing Don Pedro, and I'm also the operations manager and artistic associate here at American Stage.
I'm Don Walker. I'm playing Leonardo.
Matt Ackford. I'm playing Claudio.
Juliana Davis, Margaret Burgess, and choreographer.
Richard Watson. I'm playing Dogberry.
I'm Jared Fox. I'm the set designer, I'm the props master, and I'm also the production manager.
Roman Black, marketing manager.
Layla Pryor, and I'm the director of finance.
Barbara Cooley, volunteer.
Al Holtman. I've been a subscriber since I was working in Washington. I actually subscribed when I was still in Washington.
I'm Amy Alicia. I was with him with the subscriptions, but I also do the lectures for the behind the scenes series.
And she's been doing them for years.
Yeah, about 10
wonderful.
years now.
I'm Tiffany Ford. I'm the director of education and outreach and improv and joy.
Hi, Gina Clement, new to the Board of Trustees.
Kara Goldberg, Advancement Associate.
Janine Dunlap, costuming volunteer.
Oh. Frank Chavez, costume designer.
Jill Castle. I am the costume shop manager.
I'm Tim Brown, the technical director and understudy for Dogberry as well.
Stephanie Snyder, director of advancement.
Marissa Nicole Cook, education coordinator.
Paige Gilly, administrative assistant, advancement.
Sarah Amos, development assistant.
Taylor McKee, house manager.
I'm Lisa Tricomi, Lisa Powers, and I'm playing Antonia.
Rebecca Alford, I'm one of the sponsors.
Mike Alford, chair of the Board of Trustees and sponsors with Rebecca.
I'm next. You're next.
I'm Andrew Bertucci, and I'm playing Braccio.
My name is Laura Spencer. I'm your featured artist for Much Ado About Nothing, and I will be producing the gallery show as well, and in a 24 by 36 piece of art to commemorate this rendition.
Hi, I'm Courtney McLaren. I'm an apprentice, and I am Watch 1.
Hi, I'm Taylor Sweat. I am the assistant stage manager, and I'm also an apprentice.
I'm going to let you go first, since you got skipped over.
That's fine. I'm Joseph Chickawini. I'm one of the volunteers, and I attend a lot of the shows here as well.
Hi, I'm Michael Raver. I'm Don John.
Oh, hi, I'm Pat Anderson, longtime fan.
Hal Friedman, I'm on the Board of Trustees and also a longtime fan.
Willie Radowski, subscriber.
Hey everybody, I'm Brock Vickers. I'm playing Benedict.
Cody Hopkins, I'm an apprentice here, and I'm the messenger, and Watch 2.
Margie Zapowski, I'm playing Hero.
I am Tato, and I am playing Conrad.
That's it.